Let's also get you some other updates we're tracking. Now, speaking of China, or with the context to China's BRI initiative, remember yesterday the initiative between Saudi Arabia, the Middle East, Europe and India was announced to build a big economic corridor. Now, Bloomberg is also reporting that Italy's Prime Minister Meloni has signaled to Chinese Premier Li Qiang, who's in India, that her country plans to leave the China-led Belt and Road Initiative. This is something that has been in the works. This is something that has been expected for a while. And this is something that has been indicated by the Italian authorities for some time. Of course, for Italy to be leaving that Belt and Road Initiative led by China and Europe to actually join hands with the Middle East and India to build that economic corridor is being seen, if not a snub, then at least a rebalancing a little bit of the imprint that China had begun to have. So Italy's Prime Minister Meloni met the Chinese Premier Li in the national capital on the sidelines of the G20 summit, is what we are being told. And there is, of course, a big doubt. There was always a big doubt about the continued participation of Italy in the Belt and Road Initiative. What we are getting to know through some agencies is that that communication has indeed taken place, that Italy has informed China that they are leaving this initiative. My colleague Anand Narasimhan is also joining us with more on this. Anand, this was on the expected lines. These were the hints that had been given by Italy in the run-up to the G20 summit. But it looks like that communication has finally taken place between the two countries, and this will be a big setback to China.
This will be, Philip, for the European Union to take cue. The point is that Italy is a strong voice within the European Union, and also Germany. Now, if Germany, France, Italy, they were sitting with Saudi Arabia, Jordan, the US and India on that announcement of the economic corridor from India all the way to Germany and all across Europe, it's big movement. Because Italy now has an alternative, the European Union has an alternative, and clearly the world wants to move away or wean themselves away from the Chinese hegemony or their debt trap diplomacy. For a long time, many thought that there will not be a solution which will be possible, which will be geopolitically possible. And that's the reason why yesterday Joe Biden's handshake with Mohammed bin Salman in the presence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi, and then Joe Biden turning around and not just thanking the Italian Prime Minister, but also shaking hands with the NSA Ajit Doval. So there are a lot of strategic considerations here. And one of the G20 objectives that's tweeted out by Amitabh Kant also highlighted that there will be reinvigorating of multilateralism, and there will be multilateralism for the 21st century, multilateral institutions for the 21st century. So both these aspects talk about major realignments, and for India, this is a big win. For China, it will be seen as a big setback because it has been bragging about the Belt and Road Initiative and saying that even how nations within Europe are also, leaning towards China, and President Xi is planning a very big OBOR initiative or a meet. And this comes as a big setback at this point in time. Italy for long has been quite inimical to India, but now the entire tonality towards India itself is changing, and a lot of it is also because of the rising proximity between India and the US and settling of a lot of disputes. There were 7 pending disputes. 6 of those disputes now have been settled, and now this cooperation within nations who are actually not ready to even sit in the same room with each other, now shaking hands. A lot of it has been influenced by Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the Indian government and our ability to bring people together.
Right. Italy was one of the first G7 countries to sign in on the Chinese-led BRI initiative in 2019. But under Prime Minister Meloni, they have been making noises that it wants to abandon that initiative. It is not really something that they're interested in anymore. But of course, this is going to be a delicate matter for them still. Some agencies now reporting that the communication has indeed taken place, that Italy has formally announced or intimated to China that it will be leaving the BRI. We'll leave it on that note, and time for a very short break. We'll get you more news and updates in just a bit.